Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to Planet Cryos. If you're new to the channel, I want to go ahead and welcome you. And if you like any of the content, go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, comment below, and don't forget to share the videos with your friends and family. Alright guys, so what we got here is an M.2 form factor SSD that actually goes right onto your motherboard. No cables whatsoever. This is also the NvMe version. They also make a SATA version, which is slower, which is basically the SATA version is the same speed or speeds of the equivalent to just a 2.5-inch SSD internal storage hard drive. So the NvMe is much faster, usually 4 to 5 times faster, and now they're getting even faster than that with newer version 4.0 that's coming out. This is a version 3.0. So I just wanted to give you a walkthrough. Whether this is a SATA version or the NvMe version, it makes no difference as far as the installation goes. The only thing that you do need to know is whether or not your motherboard supports the NvMe or the SATA. Sometimes they can be one or the other, and sometimes they can support both. And then it also depends on how many. Like currently, I have one M.2 NvMe SSD on my motherboard right now of a 1 terabyte of this same one. And I do have a second slot, but you need to confirm with your motherboard manual that the second one, or even just your single one, can support it. You need to make sure of that, because you don't want to go ahead and buy a $300. This is about $300 NvMe. You don't want to go ahead and buy that and then realize that you can't use it. So stick with me, and I'm going to show you how easy this is to install. Okay, so right behind this cover here is the M.2 slot that we're going to be installing this in. And I have another NvMe M.2 that's underneath this cover, but it's underneath the graphics card. And that one is 1 terabyte. I am putting a 2 terabyte in this bottom one for backup. And because I'm utilizing my NvMe drive a little bit more right now, so I'm going to put the 2 terabyte down here and occupy this for my Acronis backups. So let's get started and put that in. Now again, here is our NvMe 970 Evo Plus. The Plus just means it's a little bit faster than just a regular 960 or 970 Evo. Your read speeds are going to be close to the same, but the writes between just the Evo and then the Plus model are going to be a little bit significantly more. So I know with one of my old ones, it was roughly between 2600 and 3500, so it was quite a significant difference. But nevertheless, you're not going to notice that much for that. But let's go ahead and get this out of this package and get that cover off. There's our nice drive. And they make a little notch here to get your finger under it and take it out. And that's the way it comes out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this cover off now. You should actually, especially first timers, you should be doing this with a PC laying down. Mine's not for a couple different reasons. One, I've got so many wires in the back of it right now, and to take this out, a little bit more involved. And also, I've done this a bunch of times, so I'm not new to this, and it's pretty straightforward. So The only concern you would have is any of the screws, the plate, especially the M.2 screw that holds the M.2 down. If you have, if you start taking those off, the gravity is not helping you in this point, and it would just drop the screw. You could lose it. If you had your power supply turned the other way, you could lose it inside the power supply, or we could lose it behind the power supply. And then that would involve me pretty much either taking the power supply out or tipping the computer over or something like that. So you do have to be careful. Just be mindful of that. You know, sometimes it's good to have a magnetized screwdriver. But other than that, just be pretty careful. Oh, I did forget. These are actually... these screws do not come out, so they actually stay attached to this plate. So that's actually a bonus. I kind of forgot about that. So we're going to take this out. I believe this is actually a heat sink too. I have to confirm that when we take this off. Yes. So this is actually a heat sink also. And you'll find this is you're going to peel this. And then when we go to put it back on, it's going to just keep it a little cooler. It's supposed to keep it cooler. I don't know by how much, but supposed to anyway. I'm actually going to have to go into the motherboard box and find my other screw because it's not in here. So we just got to get the other screw, and then I will be right back. All right, so I went ahead and I got the stand. There's a little, you can see there's 3 positions you can put this one in, and those are the millimeters. So we have the longest one that can be supplied for this, which is what was it, 280? I think I'll correct that in the notes. I'm just not thinking correctly on that right now. But we got the longest length for this bottom NvMe slot, or M.2 I should say. This is the M.2 slot. So what we're going to do is I put my standoff in, and we come here with the M.2 form factor SSD. This is the NvMe, and it doesn't go on this way, but it goes on this way. And you can see the notch. There's a notch right there. Now, if this was a SATA, it would have a second notch up a little higher. And with this one, it has a notch cut out for it, so it can only go in one way. So you go ahead and you put it in there. Now this is, when you put it in, it goes in at a slight angle. Don't try to put it in straight, okay, or flush with the board. Come out a little ways, in other words, towards the camera. And then go ahead and just wiggle it up and down just a little bit and put a little pressure, and you can see it slip in real easy. Now, you can see how this acts like a diving board. It's springy. All right, it is supposed to do that. All right, that is meant to do that. So now you just push this up against where it mounts right there, up against the standoff, and take your screw and put the screw in. You might have to adjust it up and down, in other words, this way or this way, just slightly, just to get it to align perfectly. And that's it. Don't over tighten that screw. Just a little tension on it is fine. And then we're going to take our plate here that covers it, and we're going to peel the sticker off, or the cover for the what do you call it here? The thermal plate. And whoop, we're going to go ahead and put this sucker on. And then we're going to take our screwdriver and lock these down. And once you have this fastened down, these don't need a lot of torque on the screws either. Just enough to secure it, and that'll be it, because otherwise you'll strip them out. So just when it kind of stops, becomes snug each side, that is it. So ladies and gentlemen, that is how you install an M.2, whether it's SATA or NvMe. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you. when you get done installing a hard drive like that, if you're not cloning, you have to go ahead and initialize the drive in order to be able to use it. So I'm not going to walk you through all that because I do have a separate video exactly how to do that. I'm going to put the link down below in the notes, and I'm also going to put it in the video right here, so you can just click on the link up above. Actually, I think it's to the right. And that'll walk you through step by step exactly how to initialize the drive, so there should be no question on that. However, I was just doing this and I did notice when I turn it back on, I think I have a front fan that is actually starting to go. So I may go ahead and purchase 1 or 2 fans, maybe Noctua or something like that, and do an install video on that. So, but thank you guys for watching, and like I said again, don't forget to subscribe, click that like button, share the content, and go ahead and comment down below if you wish to, if you have any questions or anything regarding this installation. It was pretty straightforward, but again, until I see you next time, I guess I'll see you then.